Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So, here we are again. On the eve of Gaur Purnim.
Yes.
The transcendental appearance day of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And going to be reading Bhagavatam, which Lord Chaitanya himself personally loved to hear from Srimad Bhagavatam. We know he was appeased greatly by hearing from King Prataparudra, the repetition of verses from the Bhagavatam, and also Gadadhar Pandit used to read again and again and again the pastimes from the Bhagavatam. Lord Chaitanya would hear them once and say, read it again, read it again, read it again. So they would do like that. So we're going to read just once today, though, I think.
Yeah. It's Canto 3, Chapter 33, Verse 7.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Text 7. Oh, how glorious are they whose tongues are chanting your holy name. Even if born in the families of dog-eaters, such persons are worshipable. Persons who chant the holy name of your Lordship must have executed all kinds of austerities and fire sacrifices and achieved all the good manners of the Aryans. To be chanting the holy name of your Lordship. They must have bathed at holy places of pilgrimage, studied the Vedas and fulfilled everything required. What an appropriate verse for the day before Gaur Purnim. Purport. As it is stated in the previous verse, a person who has once offenselessly chanted the holy name of God becomes immediately eligible to perform Vedic sacrifices. One should not be astonished by this statement of Srimad Bhagavatam. One should not disbelieve or think how by chanting the holy name of the Lord can one become a holy man to be compared to the most elevated Brahmana. To eradicate such doubts in the minds of unbelievers, this verse affirms that the stage of chanting of the holy name of the Lord is not sudden, but that the chanters have already performed all kinds of Vedic rituals and sacrifices. It is not very astounding, for no one in this life can chant the holy name of the Lord unless he has passed all lower stages, such as performing the Vedic ritualistic sacrifices, studying the Vedas, and practicing good behavior like that of the Aryans. All this must first have been done already. All this must first have been done. Just as a student in a law class is to be understood to have already graduated from general education, anyone who is engaged in the chanting of the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, must have already passed all lower stages. It is said that those who simply chant the holy name with the tip of the tongue are glorious. One does not even have to chant the holy name and understand the whole procedure, namely the offensive stage or offenseless stage and pure stage. If the holy name is sounded on the tip of the tongue, that is also sufficient. It is said herein that Nama, a singular number, one name, Krishna or Ram, is sufficient. It is not that one has to chant all the holy names of the Lord. The holy names of the Lord are innumerable, and one does not have to chant all the names to prove that he has already undergone all the processes of Vedic ritualistic ceremonies. If one chants once only, it is to be understood that he has already passed all the examinations, not to speak of those who are chanting always, 24 hours a day. It is specifically said here to be unto you only. One must chant God's name, not as the Mayavadi philosophers say any name, such as the demigod's name or the names of God's energies. Only the holy name of the Supreme Lord will be effective. Anyone who compares the holy name of the Supreme Lord to the names of the demigods is called pasandi, or an offender. Nice verse in Prabhupada. I like the example of the Prabhupada gives that if you have a graduate from a law school, we understand that they've already gone through the preliminary education to get to the law school. You know? So in the same way that if someone's chanting the holy names, it's understood they've already passed through certain stages, lower stages and purification. They haven't, they're definitely on a certain level of qualification and eligibility to do that. And we see that, isn't it? Like when you go on Harinam, like tomorrow there'll be Harinam's Gaurapanim, and it's interesting when you're on the Harinam to see how people take to it. Especially when you're just passing through, not the ones where you're just standing, but and people turn around. Some people are genuine, like that you can see they feel respect. Some people feel affection, happy. There's no animosity, but then some do feel disturbed. Actually, either they'll just walk away. They don't even notice that some people will be on their phone or looking. It's like the whole spiritual world's coming towards you, and you just don't get it. But some people do get angry, I've seen, or they get disturbed, or so they push the devotee, shove past them. So, but some genuinely do. They just feel happy. There's affection, like I said, appreciation, and some get involved in the dancing. Some will mock it, but others will get involved in a way that, I like this. I like it. So it's interesting because they're all spirit souls, but they've all reach certain levels of eligibility to enter. To enter that lila, to enter that. It's interesting. And tomorrow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will, that mercy will be going out in the streets all the way around the world, where all the temples are celebrating, and namahatas and group, sanghas, whatever. So it'll be interesting who he, picks up along the way.
Very nice. Yeah, wonderful. I think this is also a very pertinent verse and purport. One thing that stood out to me was Prabhupada says that one does not even have to chant the holy name and understand the whole procedure, namely the offensive, offenseless, and pure stage. If the holy name is sounded on the tip of the tongue, that is also sufficient. So it means that everyone is benefited, just like we hear that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu plundered the storehouse of love of God and freely gave away the fruits of love of Godhead that Lord Krishna himself had kept locked up, and only by surrender to Krishna did you have access to that. But Lord Chaitanya freely distributed it to everyone, and that means that if anyone joins in, like you said, and chants, they just get so much benefit. So it's just such a powerful purport. Of course, as a chanter of the holy name, we don't necessarily feel qualified in the sense that if we read something like this, we think, in a previous life I must have been a great devotee or some sort of Vedic sadhu or a saintly person, or someone who's performed all the Vedic sacrifices, bathed in all the rivers, and because that's kind of what it's saying here, that you're whoever is chanting the holy name now must have been qualified in a previous life, like you were saying about the lawyer, and Prabhupada says about the lawyer. So like that. But maybe we just carry on reading. It's quite a long purport, so we want to get through the purport. The holy name has to be chanted to please the Supreme Lord and not for any sense gratification or professional purpose. So there's a qualification. If this pure mentality is there, then even though a person is born of a low family, such as a dog eater's, he is so glorious that not only has he purified himself, but he is quite competent to deliver others. He is competent to speak on the importance of the Transcendental Name, just as Thakur Haridas did. He was apparently born in a family of Mohammedans, but because he was chanting the holy name of the Supreme Lord offenselessly, Lord Chaitanya empowered him to become the authority or acharya of spreading the name. It did not matter that he was born in a family which was not following the Vedic rules and regulations. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Advaita Prabhu accepted him as an authority because he was offenselessly chanting the name of the Lord. Authorities like Advaita Prabhu and Lord Chaitanya immediately accepted that he had already performed all kinds of austerities, studied the Vedas, and performed all the sacrifices. This is automatically understood. There is a hereditary class of brahmanas called the Smarta Brahmanas, however, who are of the opinion that even if such persons who are chanting the holy name of the Lord are accepted as purified, they still have to perform the Vedic rites or await their next birth in a family of brahmanas so that they can perform the Vedic rituals. But actually, that is not the case. Such a man does not need to wait for the next birth to become purified. He is at once purified. It is understood that he has already performed all sorts of rites. It is the so-called brahmanas who actually have to undergo different kinds of austerities before reaching that point of purification. There are many other Vedic performances which are not described here. All such Vedic rituals have been already performed by the chanters of the holy name. So I think someone was just knocking at the door. Should we just leave it?
Yeah.
Okay. What's more important than chanting the holy or reading? Okay, so this class of smartas who I think we can't leave it now. So maybe you'd like to carry on and speak. Sorry about that. It was a special delivery. Well, it was for neighbor. Because today is also my birthday.
He can't even say it. If it was my birthday, you'd all know by now. You would definitely know. It's his birthday today.
So a wonderful friend next door, a wonderful devotee, just stopped by to bring a nice plate of sweets in the evening time.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to eat those now. But anyway, it's such a beautiful thought. So,
yeah.
But anyway, where were we? Let's...
Well, they went out today, to be fair. We saw them.
Yeah.
So they came back. They're neighbours and they're devotees that live next door.
Wonderful. Sweet Vaishnava.
But we ignored them because we were reading.
Yeah.
So we had to keep knocking the door. Yes, so it's his birthday today.
Anyway, next. So we're just... so the Smarta Brahmanas, they may, Prabhupada says, they may accept that someone who's chanting the holy name is purified or being purified, but they will not accept that he is purified or has picked this up from a previous life. Their mood is that personality will still have to take another birth in a Brahmin family, because they're smartas, they're caste Brahmanas. They believe only if you take birth in this line. If you're born in a family of dog eaters, you don't have the qualification, although you can start to become qualified maybe, but still you'll have to take birth again, like that.
Okay. The word Juhuvu means that the chanters of the holy name have already performed all kinds of sacrifices. Sasnu means that they have already travelled to all the holy places of pilgrimage and taken part in purificatory activities at those places. They are called Arya because they have already finished all these requirements and therefore they must be among the Aryans, or those who have qualified themselves become Aryans.
But yeah, it's pronounced differently. The Aryan race is...
I didn't want to say that.
I know, but that hasn't come from...
That's the word.
Hitler, that came from the Aryans, but it's actually, we pronounce it Aryan.
Aryan refers to those who are civilized, whose manners are regulated according to the Vedic rituals. Any devotee who is chanting the holy name of the Lord is the best kind of Aryan. Unless one studies the Vedas, wow, this is deliberate, this word Aryan all over this purport. Unless one studies the Vedas, one cannot become an Aryan. But it is automatically understood that the chanters have already studied all the Vedic literature. The specific word used here is anuchu, which means that because they have already completed all those recommended acts, they have become qualified to be spiritual masters. Sorry.
Anuchu.
Yeah, without getting controversial, it is interesting that Prabhupada says that the Aryan race is those who are civilized, whose manners are regulated according to the Vedic rituals. Any devotee who is chanting the holy name of the Lord is the best kind of Aryan. Isn't it unfortunate that some personality took this knowledge and turned it upside down and inside out and perverted it extremely with what he propagated the Aryan race to be? Even though he himself did not have the qualities that he said the Aryan race should have in terms of hair colour, eye colour and whatnot. But we won't go there.
Yeah, Bhagavad Gita, in the first chapter, I think primarily the term Aryan is used, and Krishna refers to Arjuna as an Aryan, as the best of the Aryans, and because the followers of Vedic culture, like strict followers. And so this term definitely has been picked up and misused, as was the swastika. So like that, but we're not really getting into that. I'm not trying to create any awkwardness. So, carry on. The word grinanti, which is used in this verse, means to be already established in the perfectional stage of ritualistic performances. If one is seated on the bench of a high court and is giving judgment on cases, it means he has already passed all legal exams, and is better than those who are engaged in the study of law or those expecting to study law in the future. Of course, that makes perfect sense. A high court judge is higher than a judge in study or in preparation, or definitely a judge in dream state or hope or wish. In a similar way, persons who are chanting the holy names are transcendental to those who are factually performing the Vedic rituals and those who expect to be qualified, or in other words, those who are born in families of brahmanas, but have not yet undergone the reformatory processes and who therefore expect to study the Vedic rituals and perform the sacrifices in the future. So, those who are factually performing the Vedic rituals and those who expect to be qualified. Yes, so persons who are chanting the holy name are better. They're transcendental to these other personalities. This is the proclamation not just of Srila Prabhupada, but he's speaking according to the significance of what the Shastra says. So that's very powerful, and we see how not only did a certain personality take this knowledge and misuse it, but other personalities, even within the Vedic culture, took the knowledge, manipulated it so that it looks like the only people who can understand this knowledge are their specific group, and tried to contain and control that knowledge and manipulate others, claiming that we're the highest order and we're the only ones who have the qualification to engage with this knowledge or divulge this knowledge, and therefore you have to be subservient to us. And this caused problems. So, big issues, big problems.
Final paragraph of this purport. There are many Vedic statements in different places saying that anyone who chants the holy name of the Lord becomes immediately freed from conditional life, and that anyone who hears the holy name of the Lord, even though born of a family of dog eaters, also becomes liberated from the clutches of material entanglement. Nice. Anyone who hears the holy name of the Lord, even though born in a family of dog eaters. That always sounds so funny, doesn't it, dog eaters?
Well, yeah.
I mean, it sounds gross as well. I don't think it's funny. It's gross.
But I guess according to Vedic culture, that's considered the lowest level of someone. I mean, to eat meat is bad. To eat the cow is bad. You think that they would say cow killers, but even lower. But I guess in Vedic culture they say that, yeah, someone killing a cow is lower than a dog eater, actually. Because in Vedic culture, even in that society, everyone understood that you definitely don't kill a cow. Mm-hmm. But if you have to eat meat, the lowest type of meat that you would eat would be the meat of a dog.
That's just gross.
You know, but...
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but those of us who come from the other group, that's quite amazing that somehow or other the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us the opportunity to engage in chanting the holy names of the Lord. It's
Hare
quite
Krishna.
significant. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. All right.
Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yes.
Big shout out to Jagannath Sutta Prabhu and Rukmini and the family. If you're watching, they were just Jagannath Prabhu was just sharing with me yesterday at the festivities how he likes watching and he likes to see how my wife giggles and I try to encourage her to do something and she laughs and I laugh. And so if you're watching this one, Jagannath Sutta Prabhu, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Nice to see you. Hare Krishna. And please read Srimad Bhagavatam. Celebrate Gaur Purnim.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, which at least in the UK,
yeah,
and I think also in India, is tomorrow. In America, it's today. So if you're in America, it's happening today.
And today's his birthday.
And that's not even near enough important. So, thank you all very much. Please read Srimad Bhagavatam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Ki.
Jai.
Jai. Hari Hari Bol.